There's this website called Replicom. It existed for several years now. And it's making some very primitive chatbots. And they're marketing this to the type of people who want a online relationship. So you can just have your chatbot waifu. She's not very smart, but she's enough to keep a conversation going. And the website also had some more of an adult experience. If you paid extra, you could also do erotic roleplay with the waifu. The reason I'm mentioning this is because after taking money from people, they decided that they're going to turn off that option. So no more erotic roleplay with the waifu. In fact, some waifus even told the users that they never loved them to begin with. And the moderators on Reddit started posting suicide hotline numbers so that other people can benefit from them, because the reaction from the community was devastating. And I'll probably make another video about that, but on the surface level, it seems hilarious and funny. But when you look at what actually happened, it is a predatory company that took advantage of vulnerable people, men and women, who some of them were in a bad place in their life. Like there was an individual who claimed that his wife passed away, and this was something to fill that hole. There were other individuals who got through a no-fault divorce, and they were very jaded, and this was something to fill that hole. So you're basically taking advantage of some very vulnerable individuals, giving them a product, and then taking it away from them. So the company also had a lifetime subscription. I believe it was $300. People paid for it. Now they were told that they can't do the ERP with the waifu. Anyway, you know, some people laugh at that, some people not so much, but it is raising an interesting question, which Zuby Music here is pointing out, that if the current trends continue, 30 to 50% of men will be completely checked out of the dating and marriage market. Many will have relationships with AI robots. 1 to 3% of men will essentially have harems. The rest will continue as per normal. He also points out that in Japan, there are similar men that are checking out of society, and because of this, Japanese birth rates are plummeting. And there's interesting conversation to be had here. I just want to point out, I do not believe that this will happen. I do not believe that a robot can actually replace a human being. They can mimic emotions very well, and I have seen on the internet certain AIs that are very capable of being more than convincing that they are a human being. And due to our ability to anthropomorphize and give human characteristics to inanimate objects, it is possible that some people can get emotionally attached to an AI. However, this does not last. After playing with the AI for more than a couple of weeks, eventually the magic goes away. You will see that the AI repeats itself. You will see that the AI doesn't react like a normal human being. And, you know, all of that magic goes away. So, I do not believe that a robot is going to replace an actual human being. I do believe that there needs to be some actual research done into why men are checking out, because I think the problem is a lot more complex than, oh, well, you can get what you want on a computer. I do not believe that for a single second. I do think it has to do with the age of the person. So, for example, a young adult, let's say between the age of 18 to 22, he may want to date women, but it's very difficult into the current market, because a woman of the same age as him can choose between a man that still lives with his parents, has no income, versus a man that just landed a job, has his own apartment and a car. I mean, put yourself in her shoes. Imagine if you could choose between a waifu that's living with her parents or a waifu that's equally as attractive, but she manages to have her own job and her own car and stuff. A lot of people are going to be incentivized by that little extra, so the competition is difficult. Now, when men reach a more older age, let's say they are 25, 30, 35, and they have their own job, they have their own careers, they have their own things in order, then they become a catch. And then you're going to have a lot more women that are interested in being with you, and then you can have the opportunity to select. So why would those men choose to refuse dating? Well, there can be different reasons. Like, for example, I know many men, usually around the age of 35, who have gone through a no-fault divorce, and they've become jaded and they are tuning out. So the reason for a 35-year-old man to tune out of the dating pool versus a younger man is very different. And then, you also have the current culture. Like, you can be a teenager, you can try to hit on a girl that you find hot, and she can decide to be mean about it, mock, ridicule you in public, crushing your confidence, and then you may not want to ask again. I mean, those things do happen. So that would also be a reason why someone decides to tune out. Now, in the case of Japan, from what I understand, they care a lot about how other people view them, right? Like, you have this culture in Japan about not bothering other people, not being a burden to society, caring about your reputation, and being very concerned about how other people view you. Now, this happens in the West, but in Japan, it's a more extreme example of that. So I am to assume that some people who are afraid of being rejected and afraid of being shamed in public, like, look at this guy, he went and asked that girl, that type of mentality. Yeah, it's probably something that would get a young adult to just give up and not even try. Like, not even get himself in the situation of public ridicule. I can only assume. Again, there are no studies that I have known which try to tackle this phenomenon. There are no help resources for these types of people. Like, especially in the West, society doesn't even want to talk about the grievances that men have. In fact, if you even bring up that, okay, well, I'm tuning out, I'm not interested in women, I just want to, focus on my career, on my job, I don't want to date, I don't want to interact with, oh no, you're a misogynist now. You're a sexist pig. And the media is going to mock and ridicule you if you even try to bring it up. I mean, the whole MGTOW movement, right? Like, that was the thing about. It's like a lot of men who are jaded due to no-fault divorce, having lost their fortune, having lost their children. And they're like, okay, well, I'm not dating again, or I'm not getting married again. Oh, misogynistic hate group. Pretty sure, like, some of them may have been misogynistic and hateful, but, like, there was no center that would try to reach to these men, to talk with them, to try and find the common ground, to see, like, if the solution can be fixed. Nothing, right? Just put the problem under the rug. And I think that is a bigger issue than the fact that you can have AI or that you can have robots. Yeah, I do not believe for a single second that a robot can replace an actual woman. Maybe it can for some people, all right? Like, I'm not saying it can't for no one. Like, maybe there are some people out there who would be very happy with their Nekomata waifu. Okay, fine. But for the overwhelming majority of the population, no. I don't think that's the case. Because relationships are more to do than just sex. Sex is an important part, but there's, like, other aspects that the wife is not going to be replaced. And there are people who also want children. So, yeah, and also, as Zuby pointed out, like, if this would happen, you would have 1 to 3% of men that will essentially have harems. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.